Hello everyone.
Hello.
Welcome on this, well, I wouldn't say beautiful, but Thursday definitely morning here in London. For our final session of the bootcamp, the core session led by Emilia. Emilia, you wanna tell a little bit of what's gonna happen today?
Yeah, so today we will be doing a teardown of your ads, provided we get enough people who will be brave enough to share their ads with us and maybe talk a little bit about their results. And we will be looking at the ads that are performing and underperforming and thinking together basically what could have been done better. So it will be a very practical session.
Let
But
me
let's wait a
enable,
couple of minutes. Yeah, I
yes,
think.
I'll enable chat and Q&A for everyone. And just post the message on Slack. So just bear with us a little bit, guys. We are on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Are you ready? I think we keep some people
I
waiting.
am ready somewhat, but I would ask for a tiny longer small, like I just want to put the message on Slack that we are live so people can start joining us. So just give me 1 second. Uh, Okay, I sent the message. Do you, I mean, you have any examples you think we can start to get things going? Any ideas? Maybe
Yeah,
you want to share some best examples from Userpilot, maybe some of ours?
let's definitely kick off with, like remember last time we met just a couple of days ago, we were launching the example evergreen campaign with a few image ads and a few TLAs. So the campaign has already been running for 2 days. As you can see, it racked up 11,000 impressions, 402 clicks, and we already spent $400. I love that part the most. No, just joking, but this is LinkedIn for you. Um, so, let's see how the ads that we launched on for Tuesday are performing now. Um, Starting from image ads, like the most staple format here, and what we spent the most on, the cost per result was just under $10, which is expected based on the bid we set. Typically, it's a little bit lower than the suggested bid. Um, Average CPM $53, so not great, not terrible. Average CPC, again, as expected, around $10, but below the bid. And how did each of the ads perform? Like usually we only evaluate ads when they have reached 1,000 impressions and like a frequency of 2. And this campaign didn't have enough time to, reach that number in just 2 days. So, these are kind of very directional click-through rates because there isn't enough clicks and enough impressions to say this is like, oh, statistically significant. Um, but we could already say there are some patterns. So surprisingly to me, this is honestly my biggest surprise. This ad, which is like the most,
Can
we
you
would
do the
say,
full preview? Yeah.
basic and the most you know, like @C ad, straightforward, a lot of text, cluttered in terms of interface, has performed the best. Maybe the target audience is actually already, yeah, we have been running ads to this target audience for a good few months, right? So like 3 months, different campaigns, different messaging. So the audience isn't entirely cold. And this ad has resonated the most. It's very down to earth interface, bullet points. My team at Userpilot absolutely hates me for pushing for ads like that because they think they are ugly, they have too much text. But a lot of times, this is what your users need, especially if it's a warmer audience. And here, the second best performing ad is, again, another one that has quite a bit of text, that has the interface, and it isn't, you know, like a particularly creative ad. The third best performing one is, again, an ad that is closely connected to the product, this time with kind of a flow chart. This is basically a still of our animation. I could have used a GIF here, honestly, and I think I will do this to improve this ad. But again, you know, like very clear product-led CTA, more like bottom of the funnel ad.
Are GIF ads treated as image ads or as video ads?
I think now you can post GIFs as an image ad, and it's a fairly new development. I've seen them. I haven't tested it yet, but I literally have one in the pipeline, which just have like an animated background. It's sort of like dark clouds. So it will attract attention more. If anyone is testing them, please let us know how it goes. And probably the surprising losers, the ones that are the most kind of creative and didn't perform so well here. So just kind of above the, I would say, acceptable benchmark of 0.35%. This is kind of the acceptable benchmark for me. And it already reached 1,000 impressions. So I would probably, to save the budget, just turn it off. And now I would replace it with another ad that is kind of more aligned with the ones that have been performing better. So in our case, easy, because it seems we don't need to kind of flex our creativity muscles too much. Let's go to the TLA ads and see how they are performing. One is still in review. Shockingly, it hasn't been accepted, hasn't been approved. Why? No idea. It used to be running before. It was approved before. This time it hasn't been. And this is LinkedIn for you. But let's look at.
Is there any way to speed up the review, like maybe resubmit it for a review, or?
I would probably do it. So what I'm gonna do now, because it didn't get approved, I'm just going to remove it, delete it from this campaign, and I'm going to create an ad in this campaign. Oh, it says pending deletion now. Oh, what happened? Oh, I managed to somehow. We'll create an ad and we'll try to edit again. That one is deleted. Browse existing content. Okay, so once again, going to LinkedIn members and the requests. It was the mistakes one, right?
I think so. Or maybe not. You can probably go back one screen and it was there in the deleted ones, right? So there is a button to open in feed.
2 years ago. Okay, yeah, now I see, because we're just gonna look for it by keyword. So browse existing content again. members requests to your, oh,
Maybe you need to re-request it if you removed it.
yes, I will look. The problem with me is that I have a lot of posts.
Yeah, but you can open that specific post, I think. From the previous screen, there was a button show in feed. I assume it opens like
Yeah, but if
Teardown.
I open it, it doesn't work like that. If I show it in feed, it just literally shows it in feed. There is no
Yeah,
button to
can't you
edit.
grab the URL here and put it then?
Not that I'm aware of. What would I do with the URL? Browse
Hmm.
existing content, and you think you would
Okay,
find,
I was
sorry.
mistaken.
I mean, let's try it. I've never done it like that, so I don't think it
No,
works,
it must be
unfortunately.
I disappear from the existing content, I guess, altogether.
It might be too old. So that's the thing that I recently noticed. I'm only able to promote ads within like, I think the last 6 months. Yeah, as you can see, even on the list. Okay, maybe these were actually promoted only 5 months ago, but
Could it be that the posts that are too old can't be, and that's why it was stuck in review?
it might be. I am not 100% sure. But interestingly, I can't find myself. Hmm.
That's good. That's first-hand experiencing problems with LinkedIn that you guys
Yes.
might face when doing these things.
Yes. Problems with LinkedIn is, have I gotten a shadow ban or something?
Oh,
I doubt it. There it
I
is.
it.
There it is. There are some approved requests, but this one isn't even showing on. So
Mysterious ways.
mysterious disappearance of the post, and then rejection of the ad, and then mysterious disappearance of me. Um, we'll see. We'll see how it goes with this other one. I just edit. But going back to the ads in this ad set, let's have a look at the active ones. So we boosted 2. I made all the ABM mistakes in the book, and one of our clients shared yada 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 last week. How are these performing? So again, average CTR, pretty decent for TLAs. I would say the best of class TLAs are getting like a 10% CTR. And it doesn't mean, again, that people are clicking to your landing page. As you remember, clicks to the landing page can be seen in the engagement column set. So here, this is the engagement rate as well. But clicks to landing page, unfortunately, there were none on this post. So I wouldn't say they have performed that well from my perspective so far. Let's see why that may be. Where are the links? Okay. In your case, the link is here. So it is pointing people to the sign up page. In my case, the link is also pointing people to the sign up page, and possibly this is too advertorial, although we did use the same ads in the past and they have performed better in terms of clicks to landing pages, but it's been only 2 days. So maybe let's give them a little bit of time, because the leading metrics in terms of average CTR are decent, I would say. So, oh, here, clicks to landing page. Hold on. Oh, maybe did I look at clicks to LinkedIn pages before that are 0? Or was this showing 0 a second ago? Because I swear I was We need to watch the recording. And I think
We will have to go by the recording and
I
see.
feel like, yeah.
Just out,
What is
yes.
okay? No, so there are clicks. Now you can see, like people in the audience, can you tell me if you saw clicks landing page 0 or did I just look at the wrong column? Because now I'm second guessing myself. And I don't know if it's me in my morning brain or if it's LinkedIn campaign manager doing LinkedIn things. But yes, there are clicks to landing page here. So this is pretty decent, I would say. 74 clicks out of how many total impressions? 6,277. So this would be your real CTR that would be then comparable to the image ads CTR. So 74 divided by 6,277, right? This is times 100, a very, very decent CTR. If we compare it to image ads, you will really struggle. I don't know, like people who are able to consistently get a CTR of 1.2% on image ads. So when you compare this and when you compare the spend, interestingly, when we look at the ad sets and how much we spent to get this number of clicks, like you can see on image ads, we got 28 clicks, and these are actual clicks to landing pages. And we have spent $9.64 per click and a total of $269 on these clicks. On TLAs, with just 2 of them and just 2 days, with this CTR, there was 74 clicks. So if we spend $131.58 divided by 74 clicks, our effective cost per click to landing page, not the cost per result, right? Because these are again different benchmarks, and don't be fooled by LinkedIn, is $1.78. So you can see you can achieve the same result significantly cheaper with TLAs than you can with image ads. So the question is, doesn't make sense to run image ads on LinkedIn if you can do TLAs so much cheaper? It's a bit of a philosophical question. Sometimes, you know, like you may want to showcase something with an image, although you can use TLAs with an image. A big problem is finding people that would consistently like to post on their personal profiles. And often you will get pushback from your team members or your executives, especially about posting content that may be somehow advertorial or used for advertisements. But yeah, I've just demonstrated to you that you can get basically the same result with TLAs 5 times cheaper. If your go-to is clicks to landing pages. And of course, there may be a slight difference in intent, but I wouldn't say that the intent is lower for the people clicking on these embedded links in the TLA, because they actually had to read this, scroll down, and be determined enough to click. If we look at image ads, the only thing that they need to do is click on the image. So I wouldn't say that clicks on the TLAs, if you consider clicks to landing pages, so you go to the engagement tab, are lower intent than image ads. So if we were bold enough and if we have the resources, I would probably then consider using TLAs as an alternative to image ads altogether. Now, do we have any brave people that would like to show us their ads in the LinkedIn ads library and, you know, discuss some feedback or have a constructive discussion here live?
I don't see anyone stepping forward yet, I'm afraid.
No, do you want to be like at school calling people out?
No, I think we should let them. But I do have questions
Yeah.
about obviously you have intimate knowledge about what Userpilot does with the ads. And I thought maybe some of the examples of what you guys are running currently could be interesting to also like explore the creatives. Would you be up for that? I'm not
Um,
saying like let's share campaign manager, but rather let's look at the ad library and like discuss why did you go with these creatives and the structure
yes,
that the way you did.
for sure. So we can do that. Let me go to the library.
Yes, I recall you had your issues facing the meme lawsuit, but I
Yes,
still see you doing the kind of like recreating the memes. Maybe you can like
recreating. Yeah.
say a little bit about the lawsuit first, and then why you still opt for this.
Yeah, the lawsuit. We got a cease and desist with basically kind of not a subpoena, but sort of a subpoena to pay compensation to a poor starving artist that had the copyright to the meme guy with the sign. You may remember there's literally a guy holding a cardboard sign, and it's been a very popular meme where people were, photoshopping different text, different copy into the sign and using it, among others, for ads. And we did that too,
Yeah,
without
can you
realizing.
Google it or to show it like which memes you're referring to? Because
Yes,
I think everyone
guy,
knows it, but just in case.
guy with a sign. This means be careful about this guy. Dude with a sign is a trap. Okay. Like you can even dude with a sign lawsuits. You can Google it. Okay, and see that this guy has been suing people uh, uh, um, like over unauthorized use without a license of his copyright. And that's interesting. And we were one of the recipients, many apparently recipients of, that kind of compensation claim, which was $150,000. So that would have been my advertising budget for a year, right? And that was a very not nice. So I'm very careful now about not using memes. But this is kind of recreating the existing memes with AI. Now it's super easy because the AI images are actually good. So you can do stuff that is still funny, that still like triggers that social cue, but without triggering penalties from copyright trolls.
Mhm.
We managed to deflect the lawsuit. We have a very good copyright lawyer though in the US. So if you don't have a very good copyright lawyer in the US, and they are expensive, don't risk it. Um, and we managed to reduce like the compensation to just 5 figures. But it still hurts, right? So I'm not repeating that mistake. I do hope that these regenerations will not trigger similar um, legal consequences. Of course, I ran it through our legal, and they were fine with posting it. But this is one of our competitor campaigns. So this might trigger another lawsuit where basically, if the competitor doesn't like it, yeah, they may not be very happy about it. We make sure we don't mention their brand name and their trademark exactly as it is. So it's always like certain puns on the trademark. There are small, changes. So you can't really argue this is making fun of them. It's making fun of someone that kind of happens to be, you know, similar.
Them.
Um, yeah, I didn't say that. You said that. You're not associated with
Of course, I
Userpilot
am
or
not, and
me
this
in
is
any
just
way,
a
and this is your personal opinion.
yes, and not an
Um,
investment advice, and I'm not a doctor,
it's
consultant.
not, yes. Talk to your pharmaceutical,
Yes,
like,
read the pamphlet, and
read the patient's leaflet information. Exactly. Jokes aside, yes, we have recently been working on a new campaign, like a competitor takeout campaign, where we're making kind of fun using popular like culture tropes that are appearing in memes, and regenerating them, sometimes mashing a few together, and basically kind of creating the story that, like our competitor is this old school, old executive guy who tries to be cool, but hello, fellow kids, but it's failing at being cool and also has other vices, right? Like has an expensive taste, and that's why they charge you a lot. Or it's hard to get, it's hard to use, but maybe sometimes a bit patronizing towards their users, and doesn't really pay a lot of attention to their old customers and just always chasing the new prospects. So these ads, I can tell you, are performing really quite well. Again, it's pretty early days because we launched them exactly a week ago. And for this campaign, we've been struggling to even hit that 1,000 impressions yet, because the audience is very small there, right? It's around 2,000 companies that we detected are very likely using this competitor. So obviously we can't target everyone with ads that wouldn't be, relevant for them. So in this case, with a small audience, it's a lot harder to kind of rack up enough impressions to be able to evaluate the ads. But we've been seeing CTRs in the range of 0.67, 0.88 for these meme-like ads. What we're also doing, which I think is quite interesting, is using AI overviews. Again, we need to make sure to kind of amend things a little bit so we don't use trademarks. We've been using like customer testimonials from Reddit, again anonymized, right, with some funny basically headline, but these are like quotes from real users of the competitor that are not very, I would say, well, positive about them, right?
I do have to ask, like, so you go two ways about this one. One is sorry, maybe the question that I'm trying to ask is, why not take the route of like more serious ads about this, like this pure compare A to B, etc. Because you seem this tongue in the cheek approach through all of them. So if you did that previously, which one do you think makes more sense based on your experience? Because you've been running this for a while now, so
you really need to test. This is an example of like a lot more serious. This is a carousel, right? And it's all of them are leading to like a dedicated, custom switch from Pendo page, and which basically has a lot of like very detailed information how we are different, okay, and some testimonials like ratings from G2, etc., etc. This ad is very detailed and like goes over these specific pieces. And
can you go back to the previous page for the ad? Like this is interesting for you guys as well. So there is like plenty of data you can find in ad library if you are curious about your competitors, for example. So yeah, it shows you when was it running, etc. So this is like publicly available. This isn't just to Emilia's account that she opened this ad, I think.
actually, I don't see this when I'm not logged in. So
I
I wouldn't say
understand.
it's publicly available for
I
if
think
we
in the API,
in the
maybe
API
I'm mistaken, but
maybe,
I think
but
it's
let's flip it. Let's look at our competitors' ads against us. Okay.
okay.
They are also running ads against us. Where they actually aren't anymore this year. Here, I don't see the same
Mhm.
information on them.
Okay,
It's
so you
not
can
true.
just take a peek at what they essentially came up with.
Yeah, yeah. So it is basically like very basic, like who is the advertiser? Because that's transparency, who's paying for the ads. But you don't see the same information that you see yourself. This is not publicly available information. This is only when you are the advertiser and you're logged into the right account.
Huh. Okay, understood.
Anyhow, alrighty. So going back to where was I? Here, the previous our campaign. Yes, we do have more serious ads as well. And the performance has been, I would say, so-so of the comparisons. But again, it really depends. I think we have one that is performing like really, really well of these just comparison table types of ads that has a CTR of like 0.8. A lot of them weren't, to be perfectly honest. And again, you need to do a lot of testing of your creatives because as you just saw, Nihal, you missed the beginning, but I was showing the performance of our campaign that we launched just a couple of days ago. And it was surprising. I was surprised to see that like the best performing image ads were the ones that were like the most basic. So when we look at performance here, the average CTRs were the highest, of course, for the TLAs, right? But then the highest for, you know, like just very regular interface ads. So yeah, the conclusion, guys, is that you need to do a lot of creative testing, and sometimes the same patterns that even were working for you a few months ago may not be working for you anymore. So like our process is to constantly look at the ads, and once they hit certain like impressions threshold and audience penetration threshold, so in terms of delivery, the average frequency. Let's look at the average frequency, right? These ads still have an average frequency below 2, of course. We just launched them 2 days ago. But you know, once you start hitting like 2, 3 frequency and you're not seeing a good CTR, it means, and you have a lot of impressions, it means that that creative is just not working. And you should pause it and replace it with another one. So if this,
Is the average frequency the metric you look at, and when it hits this 2+ threshold, then you evaluate the ad essentially?
2 metrics, as we discussed: impressions, average frequency, and then the metric is the CTR, right? If
Okay, so
your
if the
goal,
average frequency would be high, but impressions still low, you wouldn't draw these conclusions yet.
I wouldn't, but this is very unlikely to happen.
Okay,
I mean,
so there is a strong correlation between these. I see.
yeah, because LinkedIn does not, you know, it's not like it serves the same ad 6, 7 times, you know, in like a short time period to the same person. Like LinkedIn will not serve more than one of your ads in 24 hours to the same person as well. So it's like they have these limited time slots. They don't want their members to feel spammed and to
I
see
don't know
like
if
the
they're
same.
succeeding. I sometimes feel spammed.
Okay, but you probably don't see the same ad over and over like the same day, for instance.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's true.
So it is like it would be pretty much impossible for us after 2 days of running this campaign to see an ad frequency of like several times, because you know there is this limit within each 24 hours how many times you're going to be shown.
Understood.
Okay, do we have any brave participants that
I'm afraid not.
not yet?
No brave
Okay.
calls today.
Okay, Nihal, would you like to share maybe from your experience? You've been running a ton of ads. You have some swipe files with best performing ads. Which formats have been performing really well for you? Which ads specifically maybe were winners? And have you discovered any patterns in them?
Sure. I just launched an ads for a one more client and the IT industry client, which is speaking on the last session, I would say. We have been just launched the ads. I can share my screen and show that as well. So
Sounds good.
it's just base. So, yep. Apologize. I have a lot of cloud code things running on my head right now. So,
Everyone loves their code code.
So again, when it comes to LinkedIn, the CPCs depend on who you target as well. If you're gonna go to the leadership level, you have CPC so higher. So if we could look into this option, which we are trying it out, testing it out, it's all single image ads. I'm not testing any other ads other than that. I have 6 ads live. At any given point, I used to always say that have 5 ads live. So if you look into it, I have CTRs around 1.52, 0.85, 0.76, 0.5, and
Wow.
0.45.
Okay. Still
The
few
kind of test,
impressions, right? So yeah, like with one click.
yes, because I said like I just launched it
Launch
yesterday,
it.
so
Yeah.
it's just a day been. But am I gonna take any decision based on this? Not yet. Until 1,000 impressions reach an ad, I'm not gonna do anything. But if you look into it, some of the ads like this one, I hope that this is gonna get better conversion because there's always a before and after kind of ads. But one thing I'm experimenting for this version is that we're gonna go very text heavy on the ads. Right now, again, slightly I feel like even ZenABM ads, right? It was a little bit text heavy. If you look into it, I think people are gonna wanted to read the content and then take an action on it. We see like I already have one person who's already engaged with my ads. So when somebody engages the ads, I push it to my Slack agent, and then automatically an outbound is even triggered to these people. So we're trying to make sure that we automate the flow end to end. And maybe I can show one more client as well.
So wait, so I gotta drill down a little bit. So when someone engages with your ad, like leaves a like, you monitor that and immediately reach out to this person automatically?
I'm experimenting it as right now as a strategy to see if people are very warm right now, they're interacting with the ads. Let me take a shot at it and have my BDR team reach out by a LinkedIn connection request and try to do it.
Okay, I see.
Yes. And this is also one of our ABM's ZenABM clients, AquaBlue. And I've been getting the value so much out of our ZenABM platform, I would say. So they are like, I think they're one of our star customers where they've been so fledgedly using ZenABM as well as the LinkedIn ads right now. So
Yeah,
for them, I mean, is my screen still visible? Just to be clear.
yes, it is, but maybe we should be using a library for
The
this.
library.
Yeah, not
Yeah, okay.
administer.
Sorry, yep. Yes. So for them, they're a smart water dispenser. So for them, historically, whenever we show a product image, it has worked really well for them. So that has been a great take for them. When you try to sell kind of products like these, I think people want to know your product and how it like people. This is where you don't show like the outcome. Like your employees get 90% impact by having drinking this water. We tried all those as well, but the ads which stand out was like where the product images has been there. And if you see it lately, we have been using a lot of our images which has product images. And the bottom of the funnel has always been having the person little bit larger than the image. If you see like most of our testimonials, we'll have the person very much like prominent in the ads, but along with the smallest testimonials as well. So this has been worked really well for them.
Hmm. I think this is consistent with our findings on the benchmarking report. I think Emilia, we can go over the best practices there before we wrap up this.
Yeah, absolutely. As a reminder, we have, let me bring it up, benchmarks.
Yeah, maybe we could like discuss some best practices. If we don't have any brave souls today to show their ads, then we can just wrap it with that.
Yes, I do hope more people in the bootcamp have managed to actually launch some ads already, but I know like there's time pressure. We have this report, it's free, it's ungated, LinkedIn ABM benchmarks report. Basically, back in December, I was bored over Christmas, so I used Cloud Code to analyze the 161,000, but at that point, 211 of our users were running and that we, like had in our database. The data comes from like users in 29 countries and having spent 5.5 million in ad spend on our platform. And what are the conclusions? We did both like quantitative analysis in terms of performance benchmarks. So what was the CTR of a typical company on average, CPMs, CPCs, and top performance, also by countries. Specific performance metrics. So for instance, this is like some very interesting metrics is deal open rate. So from the users that were using our platform, on average from all the companies they were targeting, what was the percentage of companies that they were able to open deals with that were attributed to their ABM campaigns? And this is it. And we also did basically ad performance, benchmarks. I'm looking for the ad content analysis, split by formats. Here, the benchmarks kind of overview. What was the split? I think we had this nice, inventory type. And here you have benchmarks.
Yeah, I think it's the ad split by format, you mean? Yeah.
No, I don't mean ad split by format. I mean this table with the benchmarks per format type.
I think it's somewhere, sorry. I don't know, but it is somewhere over there.
Format performance overview. I hope you didn't remove this one.
No.
Magically.
I don't think so. Maybe just try to search by.
Don't see it. I have some technical issues today.
Yes.
There's obviously a lot of ad performance here. Yeah, anyway, there was a report on overall ad performance, but there are also patterns, right? So visual patterns, for instance, what is the winning formula for the ads? Top elements in high performing ads, right? Specific offer, right? Strong CTA button, real people, not stock photos, chart diagrams, like strategic ones, not just, like UI that doesn't really show anything. Using humor and memes, also some customer testimonials. And interestingly, a minimalist design was a negative factor. So in fact, sometimes you see these ads on LinkedIn that, say absolutely nothing, but have some abstract graphic and say disrupt the future. And these obviously don't really perform. Generic minimalism, no focal point. This is how we would call it, right? It's very common in the ads that were failing. So what we did, we basically analyzed, we grouped all the ads in the platform by CTR and then analyzed the patterns visually. And that's kind of what we got. And this is an example, AI generated example of what this kind of winning formula ad, but combined all the best practices could look like, right? Of course, imagine this is a real photo of your team members, not an AI generated one. But having a clear problem solution, having a very clear CTA button, some sort of a flowchart that really shows how it works, right? An offer, real people, real interface, and a testimonial. It's probably, of course, a bit of a grotesque here, trying to combine all these best performing patterns together. And this is not the LinkedIn, ad format that I would recommend. the square ads perform far better than like the rectangular ones, from my experience. And in terms of thought leader ads, there were some patterns and benchmarks overall. So tone of voice, use first person, speak from your own personal experience. This is very, very important because it evokes trust. Like some companies try to use these really lame posts as TLAs. They're usually these large enterprise companies, and it just screams, I don't know what I'm doing, but someone told me I should use TLAs. Yeah, anyhow is smiling, you know what I'm talking about. Like some executive throwing in a Gartner report and saying, Acme Inc. is proud to announce that we have been featured in the latest Gartner Disruptors report. Links to the Gartner report. Like, this is not what TLAs are about. The TLAs are about sharing a story, ideally a personal story of overcoming business challenges that your audience, your audience has, and that would resonate with them, and achieving, a desired outcome, ideally with your solution, right? The best performing ads had link placements towards the end of the post, but there was some confirmation bias here because just most of the TLAs placed their link at the bottom. So I wouldn't say this is like a very, you may want to experiment. Can you put the link a bit higher up and get a larger click to landing page? That would be great. Personal transformation stories, again, what I mentioned, the before and after, but this time explained as a personal story. Sharing a pain or vulnerability as the hook strategy, right? I made all the ABM mistakes. Some of the biggest problems aren't loud. Every finance team I talk to, I've seen so many businesses, right? And specific offers, okay, but not webinars. Webinar is not, these days, everyone's running webinars. It's not really something that people would, die for and want to give away their email for, so maybe not. CTAs at the bottom next to the link. Don't use vague ones like learn more, right? Or check it out. It should still be very much embedded in the story, right? So you're describing how you resolve the big business problem with a specific solution. And then you say, oh, by the way, you can check this solution out here. This is what it is, but not just like check it out at the bottom or learn more at the bottom. Text length, the TLAs that performed well were quite long, actually. You may hear this bias, oh, people don't read, right? Too much text is bad, but our data are actually pointing to the opposite. And you've seen today live when I was showing the performance of these, 5 sample ads that we kind of launched as an experiment 2 days ago, that the ones that were text heavy were actually performing better. And Nihal mentioned the same thing in relation to the before and after stitch flow ad. It wasn't gimmicky. There wasn't anything like super extravagant about it, but it had specific, information. So people are still, especially on LinkedIn, interested in information gain, right? They want some value. If you can pack real value into your ads, they are going to perform better. So teach people something they don't know. Show them how to solve a problem. And you don't need to hire, A-star Hollywood actors to perform in your ads to do that. Formatting, almost everyone uses line breaks, right? Short paragraphs, line breaks every 2-3 lines, not a lot of emojis, and no hashtag spam, right? Hashtags aren't a thing, are a thing of the past. Okay, and the problem solution framework, right? Hook should show a relatable pain. Problem detail, you need to describe the issue to build up the case, build up like the relevance and resonate with your audience. Specific proof, metrics, or specific customer name outcome. Personal experience that we mentioned a few times, solution, of course, and the CTA. For more engagement and longer dwell time, use more provocative hooks, Actually, here it says more emojis,
Mhm.
interestingly. So there are some contradictory patterns here. But all of them still are very, very personal, opinionated. This is the point of TLAs, not to just promote like your blog posts or reports or webinars. Nihal, would you like to add anything on your experience on TLAs?
Again, TLA has been a really great way of advertising it, right? I would say like when TLA is launched, it was super CTR, and then it was super crowded that people started to even promote the company post as a TLA ads, which I see some of the companies even do that. So I would say like people should use only the personal photo, like C-suite or the buyer itself. The question which comes to TLA is that, hey, who should the post should be like? It should be a founder, it should be a SDR, it should be a BDR, who's that should be? And the answer is always that it should be the persona. If you're trying to sell to marketing folks, be a marketing person,
Yeah.
be in that persona, put in that shoes. And that's a mistake I see a lot of people do it. People put some random people, let's say sales people to talk about marketing, and people are not going to resonate with it. That's not way
Yeah.
TLA ads going to work. And if you see like whatever the content you're going to post it's not going to give you any impact because the person you're saying that it's too salesy. So first figure out whom you're selling it to. Try to have that person as the like thought leader in the space. And as I said, like I'm a fan of putting personal experience out rather than saying that, hey, we got a G2 Gartner award and there's so much awards post we see it. Like all these are going to be shit right now. Focus on your real authentic stuff. Hey, I had a sales call and these are the problems people are talking about it. And this is how we are tackling it. And those personal stuff resonate in it. I always, when I write the thought leadership post, I look into two things. One, I like to look at the way I can project myself as the persona. I'm the pain, who's the hero, what is the problem, and what is the solution. And that's how you need to craft the entire thought leadership post. And I think most of our thought leadership which work really well for us, Emilia's post a lot than MJ's post. I mean, I have to hard to break it out here. But yeah, because Emilia has been a marketing person and has been resonated with Easy a lot. When it comes to MJ, the resonance is much smaller, is what I'm seeing it right. Uh, uh, I think,
Yeah.
yes, that's it.
So one hack that you can use, or a couple of hacks, like what Nihal mentioned, like, definitely if the target persona speaks to your target persona, these ads are going to resonate a lot more. I have some examples on Userpilot where I literally had to write the post for our product manager, and they would just post it. And it was a post about their mistakes, and it has like a CTR, not to landing page, but a CTR overall of 8.7%. So this is already like very good towards that, like, top performer 10% benchmark. But yes, you need to find the right persona in your company, and you need to write the post for them, because oftentimes they are not marketers. They don't know how to write these personal stories. You have to do it for them. Sometimes they may have a personal story, but they still won't know how to write it. So you may want to chat with them, interview them like you interview internal SMEs, and then translate it into a TLA in this like format that has a hook that follows these like high engagement patterns. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing is you can reverse engineer your TLAs by just searching for brand mentions on LinkedIn. So you search for your brand, you go to your LinkedIn page, you go to mentions, and you look at posts, and you look who's been posting about your brand and what. And sometimes you may, if you don't, spend all your life on LinkedIn, you may be surprised that some of your customers, some of your users may have shared their stories with how they achieved certain outcomes on LinkedIn, and they may have already tagged you. And you may even have noticed it and liked it and commented, oh, thank you for the mention, great post. But what if you take it to the next level and you request this post to be promoted, and you reach out to this person that you want to promote it. Maybe you give them a gift, right, in exchange for this, and you send them the request link. This is important, so it's easy for them to approve this post. LinkedIn will send them an email to their associated email with the request for approval, But when you request the approval from another LinkedIn member, you're also able to copy the link from LinkedIn Campaign Manager and then send it to them directly personally in a DM, for instance. This can be a great way to build a library of your TLAs in a very authentic way from people that are your customers or users and that don't even belong to your organization, which makes it look even more objective. Another thing you can do is you can create a customer engagement program where literally inside your product, you will have, a banner or a slide out saying, hey, post about your experience with ZenABM, for instance, on LinkedIn, and you will get, a $100 Amazon voucher in exchange. And list some terms and conditions that, yes, it needs to be your personal story, write in first person, yada, yada, yada. And then basically people need to submit the post link and approve the request for sponsorship in order to get the reward. And that's something that I will be doing now because I think it might be helpful. And yeah, I'm curious if any of you in the audience have been running TLAs and have some interesting stories to share. Maybe like that without a teardown publicly.
And just adding to a point, Emilia, one is that people try to do a document, upload a normal post with document, and then they try to run thought leadership ads. Just to be clear that when you add your asset as a document, that post will not be eligible for document ads, like thought leadership ads.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to do it, make sure that you use it as a carousel or a single image, which is like having all the images, or like just have it as a video. It worked better than having it as a document ads if you want to run thought leadership ads, just in that case.
Yeah, 100%. And there are other like hacks and unfortunately restrictions. So for instance, if you post a post with 2 images, not one, you will not be able to again promote it as a thought leader ad. So this sounds counterintuitive because they're like, well, it doesn't matter. But yeah, for whatever reason, LinkedIn won't allow you to promote a TLA with more than 1 image or a document. What else? Videos, they will allow you to promote, right? Single image, if it's included in the post, they will. But yeah, not if there are multiple. So fun fact, we had exactly this situation before where we asked an influencer for this favor and they unfortunately posted 2 images and we couldn't promote it. And you can't edit this post.
Edit it, yes.
You have to delete it and post again with 1 image. Like you can't remove or add images to an already posted post on LinkedIn. So yeah, a lot of small things to watch out for. Cool.
I think we went through a lot.
Yeah, probably wrapping it up, but I hope this gave you some food for thought as well. And
yeah, if you guys are watching this on YouTube and want to get in touch with us, then you will find a way on Slack or just shoot us an email if you have any questions. We will always try to at least take a look and help you out as much as we can with your LinkedIn ads. And with this, we conclude the ABM Bootcamp 2026, and we will see everyone in 2027.
Brilliant.
So thank you guys
so
for
much.
joining us.
We also have a live event next week in London on the 24th, Tuesday, 130 Shoreditch Street. We will be sharing the link to sign up with you in an email and a follow-up email, and hopefully see you there if any one of you is in London.
All righty. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Neha. Thanks, Emilia. And yeah.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.